What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a while since we've streamed, but thank you for joining me today. We're doing the 343 Labs sample challenge. So we have some awesome music to check out today from the community, people flipping a really cool sample. I'm really excited to be back here on stream. It's probably been over a week now. New setup, as you can all tell. Please let me know how you feel about it in the chat. And hello to everybody who's in chat. If you're watching live, thank you so much. Give the video a thumbs up while you're watching right now. If you're watching this later, please leave a comment. Let everybody know the timestamp at which the stream starts. That is very helpful when that's in the comments. But hello, I have both the 343 Labs chat and my chat open. So if you want to say hello in either place, that's fine. I see White, what's good? Birka, hello. Kyle Gray Young, Bishop, what's going on? Phantom 71, my mom is in the chat. Katie Cat, upgraded icon, we love to see it. Wistful Snail, White, I already said that, hello. Sub-Zero, thank you. TI80 Mark, Terry, Kuma, Stay Golden, Amelia S, thank you for dropping in. 77 Social, I see you as well. Who did I see over on 343 Labs? Mauricio, hello. Thank you for being here. And Jordan. And Brahim, hello. I'll be chatting with you all throughout today's stream. So if I missed your chat or whatever, hello. We'll chat as we go on today. Thank you for being here. But yes, hope you all are enjoying the new angle. Like I said, we're doing the 343 Labs sample challenge today. We will have a guest judge on with us. Before we get too deep into it, though, I should let you all know. Actually, my dad is in the chat as well. Can't forget that. Early. I should let you all know that we have a very important event coming up this weekend. This is a free event to attend. It's happening Saturday and Sunday with live performances and workshops, studio sessions, etc. And that event is called Sync. And you can register for it right now. The thing I have to get used to, chat, is now my buttons are over on the opposite side that they usually were. So Sync is a 2-day summit bringing together music makers from around the world. There's a lot of very cool events happening, a lot of great guest artists. Check out this list. It's totally free, like I said. If you want to go to studio.343labs.com, you can make a free account and attend the event. It will be streaming live exclusively over there. We have lots of giveaways happening at Sync, including some stuff from Arturia, some stuff from Ableton, Loop Cloud. We have some Auto-Tune unlimited subscriptions, and we are also giving away some premium 343 Studio memberships, which you can actually win today via the sample challenge. Oh, this guest looks pretty good, wouldn't you say, chat? Oh, I'm cut off on the screen. There we go. Here's the schedule. Take a look. Studio.343labs.com, and then go to the launch event Sync, and you can see everything that's happening. It's a stacked list, but one special thing that's actually happening on that Saturday, I'll be in attendance for this at 5 p.m. EST, doing a talk with Alina Smith and Great Dane. And oh, what do you notice right here? We'll talk about that in a little bit. There might be a new sample challenge to participate in for this weekend. Tight turnaround time. But we'll talk about that in a moment later. But before we go too much further, I should introduce to you all our guest today. Someone that will also be joining me on Saturday for Saturday's event. Someone that also provided the sample for today's sample challenge. Please welcome to the show, Great Dane. Thank you for being here, my friend. Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going well. I'm happy to have you on. I'm stoked because people have been flipping your sample, and we're going to hear what that all sounds like today. But before we get into all that, why don't you say hello to the audience, introduce yourself a little bit, tell us what you're all about, that kind of thing.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dane. My name is actually Dane. My artist name is Great Dane, and that seems to be what they call me at 343. So I'll just go with Great Dane today.
Heck yeah.
I teach classes at the New York 343 campus, and I'm excited to see what you guys made with my samples today. I'm a DJ music producer dude from LA. I just moved to New York like 6 months ago. And I kind of make bass music, trap stuff, like more melodic type bassy trap stuff, like halftime stuff, but definitely open to like all genres. So I'm definitely stoked to see what you guys made.
Cool. Yeah, we definitely have a mix of genres on this show and in this community. It's always, we never know what we're going to get. I'm going to play everybody the original sample that was posted over on 343 Studio. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Like how did you make the sample? What inspired it? Where did it come from? Anything like that?
Yeah, let me just double check which one. I know a couple of them, like
There's one, it's called Stutter Prog 1_150. I'm sure that tells you exactly what it is.
no, I know exactly. So basically,
You're breaking up a little bit.
You're kind of pulled from like
again,
a
you're
splice
back.
pack that I know. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I might have to switch to my phone.
I think you're back.
Hotspot. Okay, yeah. These are kind of from like a splice pack that never came out. So I made a splice pack that kind of just like did all the steps and then just didn't put it out. I didn't feel like it was fully like that like representative of my sound, but some of the stuff was pretty cool. So I just pulled it out of there.
Interesting. Cool. Are you using it are you using that pack even though it didn't come out in your productions and stuff, or is it just kind of like laying on the shelf?
Sometimes, yeah, some of it I am. I mean, some of the stuff is like from songs. Like this is kind of like from I think this like Stutter Prog thing is like from a song.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think it's from a song that I also didn't put out. So it's just kind of like living in limbo.
Do you have a creative battle within yourself about releasing things like you don't know like does it have to meet a certain threshold? Like what holds you back from releasing something? Or is it like you work on it so long you're sick of it? Like what happens?
Yeah, I kind of just let the like music kind of like tell me. I think like I definitely have to kind of take certain like right now I probably have 50 to 100 like unfinished songs that maybe like 15 of them will eventually come out like on an album or something, but like sometimes that like the waiting actually makes it better because you kind of like keep chipping away at it over like multiple months. And sometimes I'll make something really fast and put it out right away, but I like just having a lot of things on the burner. And I don't really stress about it either. I just kind of like wait to see what actually feels like organically needs to come out, but
totally. Yeah. And do you release on labels or anything, or just fully independent, or maybe a mix of both?
Yeah, I have my own sub label underneath. It's like distributed by Alpha Pup Records, which is like a LA based independent label. So technically, yeah, it's on a label, but it's not like a major label or anything. So it's still pretty independent.
Right. So you have that. It's kind of like a relaxed, not pressure to get something out.
Yeah, it's kind of just like I just text the label head and say, hey, I got some, and we've had enough like history together where he kind of just trusts me to do whatever I want,
Nice. So, that's a good relationship to have.
Yeah, definitely. And he's also a mastering engineer, and he's like the Grammy winning mastering engineer. So like I also get all my mastered for free from him. So it's pretty great.
Oh, that is quite convenient. Awesome.
Yeah, look up Alpha Pup Records. They're pretty cool.
Alpha Pup Records, folks. And if you all have questions in the chat as we go on today for Dane or anything about the tracks that are coming up, please throw them in the chat. I see chat is pretty active today. So hello. Thank you all for being here. Sorry if I can't answer an exact question as we go, but you know how it goes. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Nefertiti Gold. Thank you for the compliment on the angle. Looks like people are liking the new angle. Great. So we're going to listen to the entries from today's sample challenge in a moment, but I wanted to draw everybody's attention to the fact that we literally just posted the next sample challenge already. So Dane, on Saturday, did you know this? We're hanging out again on Saturday.
I did. Yeah. Excited.
Yeah. So we are doing kind of a 2-hour thing on Saturday. So everybody knows we are doing a talk. We're going to talk about like focus in music. Dane is somebody that's been in the music industry, been a producer, been doing his thing for a while. I myself have been involved in music for a while. And then Alina Smith, who will also join us, has been in music for a while. So I want to lead the conversation in terms of talking about consistency and how to sustain and how to stay in it for so long and stay sane, I guess. So we'll have that talk, but then we will also do a sample challenge, which I just sent a sample over for. It's the new sample for from one of my my new pack, Sleepless, that just came out last week. But there is a vocal sample available for you to download if you just literally make a free account over on 343 Studio. You can download the sample. Let's make sure this link works. It's not. I will have the team fix it, but stay tuned on that. It's still the old sample, but what you want to do is just get ready. RSVP. This is where the samples will be by the end of the show. We'll hope to have that up and post it there. This is how it's all happening. It's all going down on 343 Studio. We'll start a new thread so people can post, and this is a tight turnaround. Not only that, there is a big prize, Arturia V Collection 8. So get ready for that. Today, of course, we're giving away some premium subscriptions to 343 Studio, which here are the different tiers. Lots of live things happening at the premium tiers, live master classes. And then tier 3 having mentorship sessions, collaboration workshops, and feedback sessions, etc. Of course, you can sign up for free trials of that if you want to. But why don't we listen to some music now? That's enough plugging. All you got to know is it's all going down on 343 Studio, and you should make an account. Oh, if I refresh, I'm being told in my ear that if I refresh my browser, I will be able to see the correct sample. So let's test that. Yes. Okay, so there's a vocal sample posted here for you all to download. Go check that out. Download that, flip it, looking for your tracks. All right, Dane, you ready to listen to some music?
So ready.
All right, perfect. So I'm right here on the forum. The first post I see is by Dan Go, possibly related to Van Gogh, perhaps. The Wistful Snail, that's who that is, the Wistful Snail over in chat. Let's give a listen to this track. I like to pop it out in a window here so I have control over the volume. But are you ready to give this first track a listen? 343 Remix Pixelated by the Wistful Snail.
I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to count it down, then we'll hit play. Hitting play in 3, 2, 1, play. Chiptune vibes, okay. Seems like the sample was flipped into some percussion. Oh. Glad I made that transition. Yeah.
Love the chord progression.
Totally. I think your computer audio is coming through, Dane. So I'm getting double. Here we go. A lot of cool sounds in this. All right. Great track, Wistful Snail. Wow, so I wasn't sure what direction that was going with the intro being like very chiptuney and kind of lo-fi, but then when it takes that turn and everything starts coming in, it's like very, very catchy. Catchy melodies, catchy overall.
Yeah, I really liked the clear kind of like direction. Like it kind of felt like really well crafted, like melody, kind of leading into like that cool progression where it like the bass note changes and it all kind of, I love like melodies like that where like the melody kind of like stays relatively the same, but then the bass kind of like feels like it changes the whole like vibe. And I love that it has like a huge like middle section that's totally different. Like definitely sounds like someone that's kind of like in control of their like musical, you know, someone that's not like a beginner. Like you probably have a musical background on some level, you know what I mean? Like I think it's a really clear idea. Like
and definitely like pulling from different popular genres. Like I hear a little bit of like future bass, maybe even a little old school kind of dubstep-y kind of vibes. Very little bit of influence there. And seemingly the sample was flipped into these percussion samples, and then also all the other sounds, I guess, were made on the Microfreak, which is quite impressive because the Microfreak is just like this little synth that is like pretty affordable and like pretty simple and got a good range of sounds from it, which is cool. Oh,
yeah, the mix was pretty cool. Like it sounded very like 8-bit, kind of like just crunchy snares and stuff. I like that.
Wistful Snail says hyperpop influenced. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That was very, very cool. Cool way to kick things off. And Wistful Snail, I think this is kind of a new genre for you from what I remember. But that's great. Very nice first entry, kicking things off strong, Wistful Snail. Thank you for that. Let's keep rolling. Oh, by the way, everybody, if you do like a song that you hear today, please head over to the artist's SoundCloud, give them a follow, show some support for your fellow community members. We're going to keep cruising through the forum over here on 343 Studio. Sample challenge by Bill Bencroft. We've got some vocals on this. I guess this is a remix. All right, let me see if there's more info here on the SoundCloud page. What is the track called? Ride Through. All right, Ride Through. What's the info here? Okay, lots of details here in the post. You all can read that. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know how the sample is flipped, but Bill, if you're in chat, you can let us know. Ride Through. Let's give it a listen in 3, 2, 1, play.
Did you know AAA offers
I'm getting an
competitive rates on auto
ad.
insurance?
Why am I
You can
getting an
save-
ad on SoundCloud? I never get ads.
I'll wait for you.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I think I have to be muted when I play it because when I unmuted it, that's when you heard.
Oh, yeah. So maybe it's just looping through. So that's fine. We'll save our. We'll save
you can
your.
talk.
I'll react. You give the smart comments at the end. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. I don't know why.
Let
I
me
just
know when you're ready.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready now. I'm gonna hit play again in 3, 2, 1, play. Bill, nice little swung vibe here.
You say you want me back, but you already let me go. Saying things I've never heard you say before. Suddenly you're ready to fall in love. How do I know you won't give up again? Going gets tough, that's the part you gotta ride through, fight through, give your life to. When going gets tough, that's the part you gotta ride through, fight through, give your life to.
Hi, Ayush. Welcome.
Nothing good comes easy.
Hi, Easel Cat.
Fight for me the right way.
This is a good
So I know you're
top
here
line.
to stay for me no matter what today brings. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy.
It's like this very chill out track, and then there's these boom, like hard hitting brass stabs.
Nothing good comes easy. The truth is the hardest pill to swallow. Your truth hit harder than you thought it would. When your heart fills your mind with perfection,
chat, give me an emoji of what you think about this track. An emoji in chat, please.
Nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy.
Nice. Let that fade out here. Very, very well produced track. A lot of people liked that track in chat for sure. Bill, nice job. Let me run this back a little bit. Let it play underneath. Cool. So I guess the sample. I'm gonna play this back for everybody. I reread the post, and it says the sample is present from the beginning of the track to 15 seconds in, and it's processed through Form, which is a Native Instruments sampler. So I think I can kind of hear it as like an FX element in the background. Yeah, so that's the thing about it. Like, people flip these samples in different ways, either completely transform it or use it like so that it's recognizable, etc. I would say for a sample challenge, I would push folks to, you don't have to use it as a super prominent part, but to just use it in the first 15 seconds and as like a kind of background element is kind of almost defeating the purpose of a sample challenge. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Dan? Because you have a lot of experience with flipping, mixing, and mangling
honestly,
samples.
I was just going to compliment it because it was so good, but then I forgot that this is supposed to be a flip of my samples.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, like, the track's really, really well produced. I don't know what part of my samples he used, but I don't really care. It's still a good track.
Yeah.
In terms of like, like critique, like I think Bill, I've worked with Bill before, and like the level of like professional like sound gets better every time, and it's like you know, he's definitely has this like bounce to his beats, and like I think it's really cool because he's, you know, it seems like he's not like, I think I'm thinking of the right Bill. I can't see Bill, I can't see you in the chat, but like basically like every time I hear your tracks, it's like you're basically doing the same kind of like unique style, but your production is getting better. And I think that's a good sign, because that means that like you have like your sound. It's just a matter of like making it really just gets to its like its peak abilities. And I think this one's pretty next level. I think like the only thing you should do now is go find singers to work with, so you're not just like flipping. Actually, I don't even know. Is this an original song? Do you have? Is this it? You flip?
It's vocals by an artist name I don't recognize, provided by Skier.
Elohim?
Yeah. Came from somewhere.
I doubt he worked with Elohim. I know who that is, but if he did, that's amazing. But it sounds like he probably just remixed her vocal.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, like I think you're at the part now where, you know, take her out and get a top line writer and make an original song that's like this well produced, and like you will be the person, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to like remix anymore. I mean, definitely remixes are a good idea, but like if you can produce something this clean, you know, do the whole thing, do it with a singer, with like a real like writer, you know.
I say that all the time because we get a lot of people who make maybe like trap beats or like beats that are clearly meant to be rapped over, and it's like that is the next step for everybody. It's like if your track is meant to have a top line or a rapper or any kind of vocalist on it, go out and find it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And Bill just jumped in chat and said, "Thanks, Dane."
Yeah, Bill's the man.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill, for that track. Shout out to Bill. Let's keep it rolling through the submissions. I saw some people talking about the submission process this time. This is our first time doing it on 343 Studio, so let us know your feedback. Sub-Zero, I saw you posted like 100 times, but that's okay. We'll still be able to find it. I also saw people say that you couldn't post a YouTube link, which it does say at the top of the thread to post a SoundCloud link, which is preferable, but I do know some of you put a lot of effort into making cool videos, so we'll see if we can fix that in the future for the next sample challenge, which is actually this Saturday. Today, all right, this is Sub-Zero who says, today I bring you, I guess, one way to put it, Indian trap soulish beat. Honestly, not sure what it is. So Sub-Zero Dane is always good at incorporating some traditional Indian instruments, but then doing a contemporary style beat, mixing it with contemporary styles, I guess you could say. So it's a very cool sound. So
Cool.
let's check this out. So I cut up the sample a little bit, not too much, and slowed it down. Okay, so we'll be listening for that. So this is Sub-Zero with Dolak Bounce. Now I'm going to count down to hit play, and let's hope I don't get an ad. All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Did it. Cool. Indian bass line using the Dolak. Interesting. Percussion's great. I feel like the harmony of the sample and the harmony of the Dolak instrument though are fighting each other. This is a very nice section. These chords, nice. What's the keyboard sound, Sub-Zero? Let us know. Hello, Falguna. Good to see you. Long time no see. Man, that deep, like, kick bass drum or whatever it is, nice. One thing about these perks, Sub-Zero, is that I can kind of hear the edge of the sample. Like I can hear it cutting off with like the noise. So just be careful of that. If you add little fades, it'll sound more natural. I don't know what a Dolak is, but I'm gonna look it up right now. Oh, it's a drum. Oh, I really love that percussion as it fades out. It almost reminds me of a slower version of a Kanye track. Dane, what did you think of this track?
Yeah, I definitely think that you're right. At the beginning, the chords don't match the melody of like that little like
The guitar
string.
line, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe the chords actually are. Let me listen. It sounds like you're using the chords from my sample pack, which maybe you're just trying to make it work, but it doesn't.
Right.
But after that, it kind of all works. Like after that, the next synth kind of matches your melody, and it kind of just works for the rest of the song. Like I think you're kind of in the right key for the rest of the song.
Yeah, there were some beautiful sections. Like that B section was great, but it's because the sample dropped out and it wasn't in the wrong key anymore. So if that sample
Yeah.
had been transposed to the right key, it probably would have sounded pretty good because the rhythm of the sample was cool against the rhythm of the track. It just was not in the right key.
Yeah, for sure. And then I definitely agree with the sample thing. Like, I think that click, boom, click, click, boom. Like, I think that whenever you do like stuff like that or rhythmic things, like you want to like, my rule of thumb is like do half of what you think you need to do. because like by like the second time I hear it or the third time I hear it, it's pretty repetitive and it sounds very sampley. Like I can just hear that it's just a sample. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like it's like edited or affected or like distorted or anything. It's just here's the sample raw, and you're gonna hear this 1,000 times in a row. You know what I mean? So I think definitely like do less of it and like make it more like integrated into like the universe of the song, like put some reverb or like whatever, like putting it like treat it just as like be just as like you know, curated with that as you are with like your synths and stuff, because all the synths sound really really nice, and you know I don't feel like they sound like they sound like you mix them well and you spend a lot of time on them. And then the sample, I see there's a lot of actually like people just they do a lot of stuff on the synths and stuff, and then they just place samples on top. And like that kind of just makes it all sound a little cheap, you know? So like,
especially when there are such strong like actual percussive instruments in it, like the Dolak, which I put on screen for everybody to see. It's like a 2-headed drum. Like it's such a strong sound, like of an instrument. And then there's these other percussive samples in there that are clearly like samples that don't quite fit the same quality. Like splice samples. So just have that.
You can use splice samples, just like be tricky about it, be sneaky, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I was also wondering, Sub-Zero, maybe something to experiment with is what would happen if we took this track and bumped it up like 5 BPM or 10 BPM? I think it would have a little bit of like a head nodding kind of groove to it. It feels a bit slow to me, and it could be just a little bit faster. Pump that groove up a little bit more. Just a suggestion to try out. But thank you, Sub-Zero. Always great to hear all these different instruments you're trying out and exposing us to Indian instruments, etc. So thank you. Let's keep cruising along with the entries, which, by the way, are over on 343 Studio. And I saw Falguna joined. I saw some people that were just joining. We have just announced a surprise pop-up new sample challenge that's actually coming up this Saturday, the 19th. So you have a limited amount of time to enter and to flip this sample. It's a sample that I included in my pack. So if you're my latest pack, so if you're a channel member, you actually already have access to this sample. But if you want to make a free account over on 343 Studio, you can download it. It's just a quick vocal sample, kind of a loop that you can go download and enter into our sample challenge, which there's some Arturia giveaways for that. That's happening on Saturday. So make sure you go make an account on 343 Studio. It's totally free, and enter and flip this sample. I'll be joined again by Dane and also Alina Smith, who you all know, who's been on the stream before, judging those samples on Saturday. So get ready for that. All right, we have another entry here by 11E. It's called Megaloblastic. I'm very intrigued by this. Here's my take on the sample challenge, okay? And I'll also say, before we hit play on this, if you participate in these sample challenges, we'd love just a little bit of context about what you did, like process, anything interesting about it. It's always good to hear. Especially it's good to hear how your process of like flipping the sample and stuff. All right, ready to hit play on this?
Yep.
All right. Megaloblastic in 3, 2, 1, play. We're about to be dancing in the club, I have a feeling. Oh, hello, Jordan in chat. Your melody is like going out of key or something. I don't know. There's some cool things that could be done harmonically here, but the melody and the chords are just fighting each other. Oh, see, that's cool. Oh. Jordan, since you're in chat, how did you flip the sample? Interesting. This is the strongest section here. All those stutters. Interesting.
Nice.
Dane. Oh God, I'm getting an ad. Thoughts, Dane?
Yeah, Jordan, I also great call putting your picture on it too, because that's definitely like you were in my class, so I know exactly who this is.
Perfect.
Like also like try to tell people do that, like put your photo on stuff, especially like early in your music life, because like people will be like, who is this person? Yeah, no, I think that like the chord progression makes sense, but then your melody is like dipping into the wrong, like da 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 da. You're doing like a major, like da 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 da, and like your chord is minor, so it's like one note every once in a while that just is completely like just throws it off. So
Yeah.
I would just figure out what key you're in. Like the chord progression, it's pretty much in like a very, like the key stays the same. So figure out what key that is, and then put like a MIDI scale effects, like minor scale effect on your synth, and it'll pretty much just automatically fix it.
Yeah. I think
yeah, but other than that,
thing about that is like, because this is the second one in a row where there's just like stuff that's out of key, is like, don't just try random stuff. I mean, trying random stuff as a form of experimentation is fine, but if you're just like playing a melody and you're just like, yeah, I'll just kind of throw in this note here, like that's like red flag. Like you should be choosing notes that like makes sense.
Yeah.
And by saying makes sense, there's also some like non kind of diatonic stuff happening in the chords that actually end up being really cool by the end, but then they're mixed with you can just kind of tell when somebody's meandering around and doesn't really understand the key that they're in, you know, like you can tell when it's deliberate, like key mixing and trying to go a little out of key, and you can tell when it's like, I'll just try something. But if you find yourself doing that, it's likely, if you don't have the knowledge, like the foundational knowledge behind it, that it's probably not going to sound that good.
Yeah, I try to always really like remind people like being in the right key is like number one important thing in your song. Like unless your song is like a song with no key where it's just like a one bass note or something, like that's, you know, whatever, that's a different story. But as soon as you hear that do re mi, as soon as you hear like the root and then the third, you're stuck. You got to do that. You got to stick with it the whole time. So.
Or you have to intentionally transition out of it, and like and that takes some complex knowledge a little bit to go in and out of keys.
For sure. So I would say, yeah, you're feeling a little uncomfortable with that stuff, like just first off, just figure out the key you're in. Like your chord progression sounds like you're in like a very specific key. And then just put like a MIDI scale effect on your other stuff, and it'll pretty much just do it automatically. If your stuff is all like MIDI, like it should work. But
I say the strongest part of the track is like towards the end, where, because I think the strongest aspect overall is some of the sound designy stuff where it gets like stuttery and glitchy. So by the end, it sounds pretty good, because what ultimately happens in this track is there's that one melodic instrument. It's just one, and it's playing that da 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 da, like kind of the whole time. And that's not that interesting to listen to over 3 minutes with no counter melody, with no layers to it, etc. But by the end, when it gets stuttery and the sound design becomes more of a focal point, that's what actually makes it really, really good.
Yeah, I would say maybe just move that to the beginning, like put that as your first drop. Like I think a lot of times when you hear kind of producers who are kind of like still learning how to produce the stuff, they kind of, when you listen to their song, it sounds like that's the order they made it in, you know?
Yeah.
And I think once you get to that next level of like understanding that, like, just go with the best thing, like just take that last part, put it at the front, and then expand on that. You know what I mean? I think that's the best part. Last thing I'll say is like, take your whole mix, like take every single track in Ableton and turn it down 10 dB, and then put your drums up 10 dB. Like put your drums loud, because right now it sounds like everything's fighting. Like it sounds quiet because everything's just trying to be in the front. But if you take your synths down and then put your drums up, like basically take everything down and then put your drums up and then just compress the hell out of everything, it'll just feel a lot bigger, I think.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I've never heard or tried that before, but I think I'll try that.
Yeah, because I put my default audio tracks and my default MIDI tracks. Like whenever I start a new audio track, it's at -10. So it's kind of a way for me, like starting with a lot of headroom.
Yeah.
But I still will do that to my own tracks because I'll start to inch everything up louder and louder and louder, and then it all starts to fight. So I'll just grab every track and like nudge it all down like in unison with the arrow keys, like down like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then decide like, okay, which things should come back up, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do a similar thing. All my audio tracks and MIDI tracks are default to like -12. Just starting with headroom always.
Yeah. And then if you want to listen to it louder, like crank it on your like sound
On the
like
system,
on
yeah.
interface.
Yeah.
Like
Totally. All right, next one is Powell. Actually, I should say thank you for that entry, 11E. Appreciate you. That's Jordan over in chat. And the next one is Powell, and it's wow, Spring with 343. I clicked the wrong button. Powell K2 over here. Where is that track? Can I not find it on the page? Play it on SoundCloud. All right, I don't know what I'm doing. I have to play it in here, I guess.
yeah, this one doesn't let you pop it out, which is weird.
Yeah, it's odd. So I hope the volume is correct. All right, everybody, we're going to listen to this next entry. Powell is in chat. Please go ahead and give us some context into how you flip the sample in chat. And we'll give it a listen. So let's click play in 3, 2, 1, play. Guys, in the future, make sure the track is not private or whatever, so I can pop it out, because I gotta control the volume. Interesting approach to the sample. Sounds like we're about to short circuit. I like these little electric sounds. Interesting ending.
Nice.
All right, Powell K2, thank you so much for that entry. Dane, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the best flip of the sample because he used the chord progression that I put in there, and he wrote a melody that works the whole time, and it like it starts with just the melody and then it kind of goes into that sample, which is great. Like it totally works with the progression, which is awesome. And you also changed the rhythm of it too. You didn't just like place my loop and then just make a beat around it. You like change the actual like bounce of it. Dun, 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 dun,
Mhm.
dun, dun. Like you totally changed it, which is, yeah, it shows me that you get like, that's a great example of how to do like a sample challenge, is like flip the sample, you know what I mean? Like make
Yeah.
it different, but still like, oh, like I can tell you flip the sample. But like, I think mix wise, do the same thing, take everything down. Like this actually is a really dope track. I just think that like the mix is just so like, the synths are just way too loud and
Yeah.
the drums are way too quiet. So the drums should be like louder than the synths, I think.
Yeah, the sample especially is sticking out. Like this, the sample has to come down. The thing is, like when you want to feature a sound, like when a sound is like taking the lead, like especially if it is like a lead instrument or an effect sound or something that has not abrasive quality, but a very bright quality that naturally makes it stick out anyway. In your mix, it doesn't have to. You don't have to push it that much. It's pushing out naturally by the virtue of what kind of sound it is already. So that sample especially was poking out, but I did like the way you used it both rhythmically and to guide the chords and melodically. I would tighten up the rhythm a little bit though. It sounds like it can get a little bit tighter rhythmically. And then once some of those mixing changes are made, I think that will give big improvement as well. But this, yeah, I think you're right to say like, the sample was recognizable, but it was also changed in a creative way. You know, like it's that halfway mark in between, like not being able to recognize it to just using it straight as it was. Like that halfway point in between is like a perfect spot to be at.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Yeah, I think once the kick and snare are like smacking, like this could be a really dope track for sure.
Yeah. Powell, thank you so much for that entry. All right, what do we got next? What do we got? Antisocial, Harrison Hall. Click this again. All right. Can't hide that fat. What a name. Let us know. I quickly put together with sample provided. Well, if you're in the chat, Antisocial, let us know how you indeed incorporated that sample. All right, ready to listen to it? In this track, please, everybody, make sure you just read the directions. Just read the instructions always, because it does say to make the track 3 minutes long. Very, very important to read instructions. And we're gonna click play on this, so we'll listen to the first 3 minutes and then I'll kind of fade it out and we'll give some feedback. All right, Antisocial, clicking play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Can't hide that fat.
Cool.
Can't hide that fat.
I don't. What is that? It's cool.
Can't hide that fat. Can't hide that fat. Let me clap that.
It's always the people that go, "Oh, I just quickly put this together, just quickly." Those are the worst people.
Can't hide that fat.
Arrow, very groovy use of the sample. Yes.
Can't hide that fat. Can't hide that fat.
There's just so much happening, but it's all working together. Where are we going? Where are we going?
Can't hide that fat. Let me clap that.
Okay. ready for somebody's DJ set. Is this the favorite so far, chat? All right, we're over the 3-minute mark, so I'm gonna fade this out of fairness. However, this is a great track.
Yeah, wow.
Very, very cool anti-social, I'd say. First of all, you can hear the sample, which is great. Now, this is a good flip of the sample, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably the top track so far. I mean, it definitely flipped the sample really, really well, and like the mix is incredible. It's just like so many things happening, and just like and like sometimes I think Zoom also compresses it, so I still want the drums to smack a little harder, but I feel like that's not accurate. Like I think Zoom is actually, because I'm looking at this through Zoom with Nick, but I think looking at the actual wave file, like it looks pretty well mixed. It's just like one big like even like thing, but super good. And I feel like this is almost like a trick, because like you have one follower on SoundCloud and you have no picture. Like, are you secretly like someone else? Are you like Disclosure, just like messing with us? Or like, definitely got Disclosure vibes. Like super fun, really good like sound design. Like when you get into that bassy stuff, like that like that really like ugly bassy sound, like you do it well. Like it's kind of like that's the stuff that you hear in the club. You're just like, oh, like
right, like it makes you want to move, and I think that's the sign of a really, really good track. The Can't Hide That Fat vocal line, like I usually tell people like, okay, hold off on using like a vocal line like that often, or like or whatever, but it fits so well, and it just sets the mood of the track so well. Like I don't know, that's just
people remember that. That's smart,
right?
But even I think the vocal, actually, that'd be the one critique I have, is like produce it more. Like it's sounds really, really dry. Like you just set it and then pitched it down. But I would make it bigger, like throw an OTT or like delay or a reverb on it, like make it like bigger in the song. Like, I mean, I like that it's really clean and like you can clearly hear what it's saying, but I think you could like produce it out more too.
Yeah. And then like maybe one other, I mean, it's such a great track, so I don't know that I would really change anything from it. It's a nice dance track, would work on the dance floor for sure. Is there opportunity to do more of a B section where the groove switches up slightly or something? Like, is there room for that at some point? I don't know. Maybe that's not common in this kind of track or music, but just a thought. That's just a thought. But otherwise, this track is freaking dope, and it seems like chat liked it too.
Really like tough to like, because he's in the right key, and then he'll just dip in and out of it. Like this is an example of something that is going out of key, but like very strategically, you know.
Yes.
Like
because I don't know how to describe this kind of track, but I'm so used to like hearing this where the production is a bit frenetic, where it's like bouncing all over and there's just things happening, but it doesn't sound, it's so well put together that it doesn't sound like a bunch of random things. It sounds like all this different stuff is working together to contribute to the groove, contribute to the overall vibe of the track. It's very hard to do this kind of production, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I could do this.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Like this, but I respect it for sure.
For sure. Yeah. All right, let's keep it rolling. That was really, really strong. So thank you to Antisocial. Sus, very sus. One follower on SoundCloud, very, very suspicious.
He's too good. He's got other accounts, man.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so that was Harrison Hall is the name on 343 Studio. Interesting, but we have 2 more entries to go. The next one is by Aaron Walker, aka Arrow, on SoundCloud. Let's click this and get it ready. Still have the other track playing somewhere. Pause. And we'll continue on as people are checking in. Hello, nice to see you all. Hello, Miss Nadia, for checking in. Thank you for being here. Hello. Saw a couple other people jump in chat, like Brian, Dumbo. Hello. Thanks for being here. We're reviewing music from the 343 Sample Challenge, which we do every single month. I'm here with Great Dane, who provided the sample to Flip this time around. Me and Dane will also be joined by one other guest this Saturday when we do another sample challenge that you should all for sure participate in. Anybody can participate. It's totally free. If you go to studio.343labs.com, you can head over to the sample challenge page, get all the scoop over there, including download the sample, post your submission, and check out that prize for this Saturday. It's a tight turnaround, but I have faith that you all can do it. New Princess of Pop, welcome, and Bentley as well. Thank you all for jumping in and saying hello. Make sure you give the stream a like. Make sure you're subscribed to both my channel and 343 Labs channel. Ready to listen to Stutter Step by Arrow, Dan? I have a feeling I'm going to get an ad.
Let's go.
So let's see. 3, 2, 1, play. No ad. We're good. What's up, Mommy371? Arrow, I think you're in the chat, right? I think I saw you. Oh, I love this little texture. Oh, that was cool for a second. What's up, Michael Black? There's a lot of cool ideas in this track. It's almost like it needs to be simplified slightly. Because there's a little too many things happening that aren't quite gelling. Cool bass line. Okay, this part, like finally we arrived at something that's like kind of simple and grooving. But that reverse part makes it interesting. Cool, fading out. Nice. Yeah, my instinct, Dane, was that there's a lot of cool things happening, but I think a couple things just need to be subtracted. Like a couple things are pulling it away from being like really good.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Definitely a good flip of the sample as well. Definitely like creative use of it. I think it's not even like, it's just that in the beginning there's some synth notes that like are out of key basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of like, it gets like, it happens in the first like quarter of the song, maybe like almost the first half. Like there's a couple times where it does sound like almost on purpose. Like you sound like you have a good handle on the key and like really like staying in the right key. But maybe just some of the ones that go out of key to me didn't seem like they were like that like necessary. Like it just kind of sounded bad for a second. I'm like, oh, that sounded bad. Okay, now it sounds good again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
But the ending was really cool. I think the ending's like
Strongest
my
part.
favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole end section is great. There's that part that I noted where it's like, okay, finally, like it got simple and it kind of like felt comfortable in its groove. I'm gonna play this section around like 2 minutes for everybody, because there's that. It's got like a ride cymbal groove happening. It's like really dense and energetic, but it's got that thing that's happening that's like that stuttery. I think it's the sample chopped or something like that. Da-da-da-da-da. But it's a little bit too random, and mix wise, it's like, I think there's like phaser on it or something that's causing it to not just be random melodically, but also random like mix wise, which is just like 2 degrees too far of randomness. So like if it was just a little bit more something I could grasp onto, I think it would have been stronger. And that's like my theme for the whole track, because there's parts where that kick and the bass are syncing up where it gets like a little bit funky, and that's really cool because that draws your attention in, especially in an electronic track. If that got tightened a little bit, I think it could be even better.
Yeah, and like I was listening on my monitors, which are good, but I just actually double checked with my headphones, and I'm hearing like even more of like the sub stuff. It sounds really clean. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, very cool. A lot more, I feel, experimentation going on in this month's sample challenge, which is cool to hear. Everybody's got a different take on these samples. But thank you to Arrow for submitting that. Appreciate you. Let's jump back. I think we have one more entry to check out. We're going to listen to TI-80 Mark's entry here, and then Dane and I will decide on our top 3, because we do have 3 prizes to give away today. 3 premium memberships to 343 Studio, which gets you access to mentorship sessions and live master classes and collaboration workshops, which is really, really cool. Arrow says, wanted to lean into the stutter, but I guess I went too far. Yeah, I think that like it's everything in moderation. Anything, especially in music production, anything that's like, I don't know how to say it. Maybe you can help me define this, Dane, but anything that's like very calls attention to itself, anything that's very, I always want to say abrasive, but that sounds too bad. Like anything that's very like obvious and is going to stick out a lot, you have to do in moderation, I guess.
yeah. No, I think this. I don't even have that much of a problem with the stuttering thing. I just didn't like when like you leaned into notes that were out of key. Basically, that was my biggest thing. But it definitely felt like you did it on purpose, which is like cool. Like I don't feel like it was an accident, but I really don't find a need for it unless it's like a step into like a really cool melody or something. But I think you just did it just to do it and then went away. Like I don't know. Yeah, but the stutter, I get what you mean. Yeah, just kind of like. I like that overall theory of like anything that's like that's kind of what I said before. Like anything you want to do a lot of, like do half of what you think you need to do, like do less than you think, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got this last track here. TI-80 Mark is interesting because usually they have like some stop motion, like animation or video that goes along with their tracks, but we don't have that this time. But that's okay. TI-80 Mark is also saying they put their videos in the Discord as well, so you can check that out. Let's give this a listen. Perhaps I'll get an ad. We'll see. It's called Transcendence by TI-80 Mark. I'm clicking play. 3, 2, 1, play. Welcome back, Bishop. Dirty bass, I like that. Very curious where this is going. Man, that bass is my favorite part. A lot of people saying it's like a psychedelic vibe, for sure. TI-80 Mark, is it a live bass guitar? Or was it before? Ample bass put through a bunch of processing is the bass, according to TI-80 Mark, which is cool. Thank you, TI-80 Mark, for that entry. Like I said, TI-80 Mark's entries usually come with a video component, but I guess it wasn't possible to post that on the 343 studio forum. We'll work on that for next time. So that said, what was your take on this track, Dane? Oh God.
Cool. I think the mixing is really cool. Like, oh, sorry.
No, you're
Internet?
back. Yeah, you're good.
Yes, sorry. I just moved here, so this is like my hotspot internet. By tomorrow, I'll have real internet, so Saturday will be better.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think it was a really cool like mix, like just like the kind of bass in your face, like mixing like a real kind of like acoustic or like electric bass with like 808s and stuff. It's kind of what it seems like you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I had to keep it pretty quiet in my headphones just because it was just kind of like an assault, but
Yeah.
I think still cool. Like it's still tough to pull that off and like make it sound good, you know, like distorted, but still good. I'm not sure exactly what sample you used.
I think it's used more percussively. Like I think it's involved in some of that percussive. So I think most of the tonality was pulled out of it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's cool. Kind of just like maybe like for me, like what I would want is just like breaks, like more breaks in the middle of like not just all bass all the time. I think like the waveform should just like look like it takes a break and then it comes back. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's just like a lot, you know. But
yeah, especially in this kind of heavy sound, you want to give your listeners a break.
Yeah, but definitely like impressive. Like the mix is impressive, but yeah.
Yeah. Bass in your face for sure. I think like when you give your listeners a break from such a like dense, heavy sound, you also give them a chance to be excited when it comes back. So that's the other side of that as well. And I really want to compliment like the first minute, I think, like the intro essentially. Yeah, it's about the first minute, because usually, like I'm guilty of this, making tracks, you know, you start, you make a loop and you kind of build off of that, etc. And then what I always like to do is retroactively go back and it's like, how can I make like a through composed section, like a section that's not just built on the same chord loop or percussion loop or whatever. And this intro does that really well because it's just like this very organic, natural, through composed build up that's very gestural, and there's like, you're introducing the bass in there and the distortion, building the world, really, like introducing us to the world before we really drop into the groove. So that first minute for me is really, really strong. Good, strong introduction. So well done, TI-80 Mark. Okay, that was all our entries for today. Folks, we have another sample challenge coming up on Saturday. You have until Saturday to make this track. Well, let me see. You have until like midnight on the 18th, yes, to make a track with this vocal sample that you can download, studio.343labs.com. I suppose I can go ahead and spam that in chat for you all. Make an account. It's totally free. No worries there. Would love to hear your entries for this Saturday. We've got Great Dane returning to help guest judge, as well as Alina Smith. So check out that link that is posted there. Me and Dane need to take a minute off stream to decide our top 3 because we are giving away 3 premium subscriptions to 343 Studio. So we got to decide that off stream amongst all these great entries. So thank you to everybody who did enter. Of course, we can only select 3, and there were obviously more than 3 entries. So it will be a tough decision, I'm sure. But look at that. The forum post is already there. If you want to enter into the sample challenge for this coming Saturday, you can start posting your stuff there. But we are going to go through today's entries, select our top 3, and then be right back with you. So what I'm going to give you all is a little bit of lo-fi chill hop stream vibes to relax, go grab a coffee, go grab a drink, and then join us back in a few minutes when we announce our winners for today. All right, see you all in a few. All right, welcome back, everybody. Come back from getting your drink or whatever it may be. We are ready to announce our favorites, our top 3 favorites from today. We're able to select two of which will be receiving a 3-month premium subscription to 343 Studio at the tier 3 level. If you don't know what we got going on over on 343 Studio, basically we have a bunch of recorded classes that we're continuing to add to the platform. We have master classes, mentorship sessions, collaboration workshops, feedback sessions, all that. And it's like a subscription service for music producers. Like, think of it as almost like a gym membership. There is a free tier, of course, that you all are probably signed up for because you're participating in the sample challenges. So you can sign up for that for free. There's tier 2, but then there's tier 3, which is our most premium tier. And we have 2 entries from today that we are going to give that 3-month tier 3 subscription to. And those are, drum roll please, where's my mouse? They're both receiving it. We have Pixelated by Wistful Snail, applause in the chat, and Stutter Step by Arrow. Dane, real quick, you want to say a couple words about like what are we looking at? What are we talking about when we're selecting kind of those who win or qualify?
These are the second and third, right? Or
Yeah, second and third.
Yeah. So so I think that I really liked Stutter Step. I think it was like really like intricate, and it sounds like you just had a blast making it, and like probably took a long time because there's like literally 4 different sections. Like,
right.
So it's like definitely. I mean, aside from those couple notes that kind of went out of key, like most of it was really well produced and really like a great, like especially at the end, it was just a good song basically. And then also you flipped the sample really well because the sample is like really integral to it. And then the first one, Wistful Snail, really good song. The only thing for me was just I didn't really know what part of the sample you used, but other than that, just one of the best songs of the day, just as on its own, just kind of like has a beginning, middle, and end. Really well produced, really, pretty. I could totally hear this like on like a transition on like NPR or something. Like,
that's actually a really good reference point.
Yeah, sure. But no, both of them are really good.
Yeah, so nice job, Arrow and Wistful Snail. Thank you so much for those entries. Can we get a round of applause in chat for them? Going home with the 3-month tier 3 subscription to 343 Studio. So hopefully you'll be able to utilize that to step up your production game to an even higher level.
An honorable mention for Bill. Bill, we love your track. I feel like it was already a track, and then you just submitted it.
Tacked on. Yeah. That's
fine. It's fine. But.
Yeah, it's always the balance of like, we want these sample challenges. Like, it's great if you take the sample and you make a track that's really your own with it, and like the sample plays an integral role in the track. If you have a track already, or like if you just like kind of stick the sample in there somewhere, it kind of like is not quite the purpose of a sample challenge, because like we could do that at any time. But Bill's track was great, and they were all great tracks today. We can only select so many. So the last one, I mean the first place winner, I should say, that is receiving a 1-year subscription to 343 Studio Tier 3, our most coveted tier. I bet you all can guess it, but let's give it a little bit of a listen. Shout out to Antisocial, Can't Hide That Fat. Probably the strongest track of the day without a doubt, right?
Yeah, super, super good.
I don't know what more I could say about it. The production is just solid. The mix is solid. The whole, just the composition in general. Like we were saying before, I was thinking this and Dane said it. I was like, I definitely couldn't produce a track like this. Definitely. It takes a certain kind of brain, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but congrats to Antisocial, and then also congrats to Arrow and Wistful Snail. Good job, my friends. Wistful Snail says, disclosure for the win. Yeah.
Disclosure, yeah.
And
like,
Sesh,
this guy's got another account somewhere.
Somewhere, for sure. Yeah, something fishy going on here. Sesh Beats asked, what is 343 Studio? Now, Dane, you've been doing some stuff on the platform. Like, you've been doing different workshops and things like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, 343 Studio, like I did like a 5-part series about like warping, and I feel like they're kind of gathering lots of good, gathering and organizing cool kind of like a la carte stuff for you to just kind of access, like stuff that I've recorded, stuff that the other teachers at 343 have recorded, and you know, it's a cool idea. I think definitely like I like the idea of like the gym membership of just like they're just going to be constantly adding to it, and it's just like you'll be able to like tap in and just hear from like really good producers and people that are really good at like certain specialty things. Like for me, like audio and warping and stuff, and from other people like mastering or whatever, and just access it like you would like a Splice account or something, but instead of like samples, it's like knowledge.
Yeah, that's actually a good pitch. Splice, but for knowledge. Splice, but for actually leveling up your production game. And one of the best parts also is it's not just the pre-recorded stuff. So we've got a couple of pre-recorded classes up there for you all to check out. And then also there's live stuff. The live stuff is where the magic happens because you can actually interact with our instructors and really dope producers and guest artists and residents, that sort of thing. So you can just look at those tiers right there that are on screen with the live master classes, mentorship sessions, and feedback sessions and collaboration workshops. It's a good way to meet other producers as well as talk to some of the masters and get advice from those people. So check it out, studio.343labs.com. We have lots of discounts, Max says, from a lot of big brands just for being a member. So at the very least, try a 14-day trial of some of the premium tiers and see if you like it. Or just sign up for the free tier, which you can start participating in our sample challenge, which is coming up this Saturday. I really want to see a lot of entries for this. One of the samples is the sample is from my latest sample pack. So I would love to hear your flip of it. But please just go make an account over on studio.343labs.com. Grab the sample, and I guess we'll see you all on Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, Dane, thank you so much for joining me on today's stream. And shout out to everybody in chat. Shout out to all the participants and all the supporters. The recorded VOD of this stream will be available exclusively on the 343 Labs channel. So make sure you're subscribed over there. And I will see you all live on my channel on Thursday. And then we'll be back. Abe's show on Friday, John's show on Saturday, along with all the other sync events. So check that out. Thank you all for
feedback session too on I forgot on Thursday maybe.
Oh, you're doing feedback sessions. Great. So another reason to sign up for 343 Studio, even a 14-day trial, because you can get in with some feedback sessions with Great Dane. Thank you all for watching. Thanks everybody for supporting the community and the artists. We'll see you all in the next one. That's going to be it. It's been Tatro and Great Dane. Have a good one.
Later, guys.